Have you ever wondered why most people remain average their entire life? Imagine living decades without reaching your full potential or dreams completely. Why do some people achieve greatness while others stay stuck in mediocrity? Is it luck, intelligence, or something more subtle controlling their outcomes? The truth is far more shocking than most people want to admit. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity consistently. They fail because of invisible habits and beliefs that quietly limit them. Think about your daily routine. How many actions truly push you forward? Often, small decisions shape life more than grand ambitions ever will, and most people unknowingly make choices that keep them comfortably average. Fear is a hidden force holding billions back silently every single day. Fear of failure, judgment, or risk stops people before real growth begins. Comfort is another trap, disguised as convenience or temporary happiness consistently. Most settle for security instead of chasing the challenging path toward excellence. Society reinforces this by praising mediocrity disguised as stability constantly. Schools, workplaces, and even families often reward conformity over ambition strategically. Rarely do systems encourage risk-taking, innovation, or true personal growth effectively. Meanwhile, the world changes quickly, leaving average people trailing behind slowly. By the time they realize potential, habits and routines are deeply entrenched. Even the smartest people can remain average if they repeat the wrong patterns. Success isn't accidental. It's the result of deliberate daily choices consistently. The 1% who break out understand something invisible, most ignore completely. They think in systems, not just in short-term effort or outcomes temporarily. They embrace discomfort, failure, and challenges as opportunities for massive growth. But the average person avoids discomfort at every possible chance naturally. Procrastination quietly eats potential while appearing harmless and even reasonable often. Many are trapped in routines they never question, thinking life is enough. They trade ambition for comfort, assuming greatness is reserved for others only. Social pressure reinforces mediocrity, making conformity feel safe and normal daily. Meanwhile, the world's top achievers are quietly doing what others avoid consistently. They focus, sacrifice, and embrace discomfort to stretch beyond ordinary limits daily. Ordinary thinking leads to ordinary results, no matter your talent or education. Average people often overvalue advice from those who never achieved greatness personally. They mimic success superficially without understanding the mindset behind it deeply. Comfort zones feel safe, but act as invisible chains holding dreams hostage. Fear convinces most people to settle for less than they're capable of. Even opportunities fail when the average person hesitates instead of acting decisively. Life's small daily choices accumulate into massive outcomes over decades consistently. Mediocrity is often a slow trap, not a sudden failure unexpectedly, and it's reinforced by routines, habits, and environments that don't challenge you. Breaking free requires awareness, courage, and intentional action every single day. Most people don't realize they are trapped until it's too late effectively. They blame circumstances instead of examining their daily patterns carefully and honestly. Excuses become invisible chains that bind average people silently over years. But understanding the invisible forces is the first step toward freedom immediately. Once you see them, the path to extraordinary becomes much clearer naturally. Awareness of habits, environment, and mindset is more powerful than effort alone. Comfort, fear, and procrastination are subtle enemies that almost everyone underestimates. The 99% unknowingly handcuff themselves, thinking they are living freely every day. But freedom and success require discipline, courage, and conscious habit design consistently. Breaking mediocrity begins with small choices that challenge your normal patterns daily. It's the invisible decisions that separate the average from the truly exceptional permanently. This journey is uncomfortable, but comfort is the prison keeping most stuck indefinitely. By the end, you'll understand why only a few escape average every time, and you'll discover the mindset and actions required to become part of the 1%. Now that we understand the trap, let's explore why it's so common. Habits form the invisible architecture of most people's lives silently and powerfully. Small daily choices, repeated without awareness, create long-term mediocrity steadily. Average people often prioritize short-term comfort over long-term growth consistently. They scroll endlessly, distract themselves, and avoid meaningful action every single day. Fear of failure keeps them from trying anything risky or ambitious consistently. Society rewards safety, conformity, and predictable routines more than bold effort usually. Many people spend decades following paths that others designed for them passively. They mimic success superficially but ignore the mindset required for actual progress. Education teaches skills, but rarely instills courage or independent critical thinking deeply. Jobs often reinforce mediocrity, rewarding punctuality over initiative and creativity constantly. Even friends and family can unintentionally reinforce comfort zone behaviors regularly. Many remain average because their environment discourages challenging assumptions or goals consistently. Procrastination masquerades as strategic planning, delaying meaningful action indefinitely. Excuses build slowly, convincing people that circumstances, not habits, limit them subtly. People underestimate the power of compound decisions, shaping outcomes over decades quietly. Time passes faster than most realize, leaving potential unrealized almost invisibly. Comparisons with others often distract from focusing on personal growth effectively. Social media amplifies this by celebrating surface-level success rather than substance regularly. The average person avoids reflection, missing lessons from mistakes and missed opportunities intentionally. Fear of criticism keeps bold ideas hidden, stunting growth silently and continuously. Comfort zones feel safe but act as invisible barriers to real achievement steadily. Average people rarely take responsibility for their progress or lack of it honestly. Blaming circumstances or external forces perpetuates mediocrity without self-awareness consistently. Many fail to plan strategically, acting reactively instead of intentionally every day. They misunderstand effort, confusing busyness with meaningful progress consistently and incorrectly. Without deliberate action, talent and intelligence rarely translate into extraordinary results naturally. Surroundings and influences shape decisions, often reinforcing habits that maintain averageness daily. Most people adopt passive mindsets, absorbing what's expected instead of challenging boundaries proactively. Opportunities appear, but hesitation prevents action, and chances slip away quietly but permanently. Even small, consistent actions are ignored in favor of short-term comfort or distraction. Average people underestimate the effect of mindset, habits, and focus on outcomes repeatedly. They accept mediocrity as normal, never questioning why life feels stagnant repeatedly. Time is the silent multiplier of both growth and missed potential consistently. Comfort keeps them safe, but it prevents transformation, freedom, and extraordinary results completely. Fear convinces many to avoid risks, even ones that could radically improve life. Routine becomes a prison disguised as stability, slowly eroding ambition and creativity daily. Even intelligence cannot overcome habitual choices that reinforce mediocrity consistently over time. Most people underestimate how much their environment controls their decisions and habits deeply. Small changes applied consistently could break the cycle but are rarely implemented naturally. Average living is rarely accidental. It's often the result of subtle, repeated choices silently. Most people focus externally, blaming circumstances, instead of examining internal patterns critically. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards action, strategy, and courage consistently. Many fail to realize that waiting for the perfect moment keeps them stagnant indefinitely. They avoid challenges that feel uncomfortable, yet those challenges create growth and opportunity exponentially. Average people rarely take ownership of learning beyond what is required or convenient consistently. Their comfort feels satisfying temporarily, but compounds limitations over decades quietly. Fear, distraction, procrastination, and habit converge to keep most people average inevitably. They see the extraordinary in others, but fail to replicate the mindset behind success intentionally. Breaking free requires awareness, deliberate choice, and persistent action over time consistently. Few notice these subtle forces until regret accumulates from years of inaction painfully. The reality is harsh, but enlightening. Average is often chosen, not imposed accidentally. Most people remain average not because they can't succeed, but because they don't act. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward escaping the. Now let's uncover why some people break free while most stay average. It's not luck, inheritance, or extraordinary talent that separates them consistently. The difference lies in mindset, habits, and willingness to embrace discomfort intentionally. Those who escape mediocrity act while others hesitate, fear, or overthink constantly. They treat failure as a lesson, not a permanent limitation every single time. While average people avoid risk, high achievers take calculated risks with strategy. Opportunity is rarely obvious. It must be recognized and acted upon decisively. Courage becomes a habit, developed through repeated challenges and small victories consistently. They embrace learning relentlessly, turning knowledge into practical, life-altering actions daily. Curiosity drives them to explore, question, and innovate beyond conventional thinking naturally. They intentionally surround themselves with people who challenge, inspire, and elevate their potential. Average people follow routines. High achievers design systems that amplify their strengths strategically. Discipline allows them to act even when motivation fades or fear rises quietly. They prioritize long-term growth over instant gratification consistently and consciously. Average people focus on comfort, while high achievers focus on results despite discomfort. Mindset shapes behavior. Believing in potential fuels consistent action every day effectively. Habits compound over time, creating an invisible advantage that multiplies success exponentially. Persistence becomes a superpower, allowing them to overcome setbacks average people surrender to. They see failure as feedback, not an endpoint, adjusting strategies continually and wisely. Many breakthroughs occur in discomfort zones that average people avoid instinctively and repeatedly. The 1% don't wait for permission. They act and create opportunities proactively. They adopt accountability, owning results rather than blaming circumstances or luck consistently. Average people react. High achievers anticipate, plan, and execute strategically over time. They understand compounding applies to skills, habits, and relationships, not just finances daily. Growth requires discomfort, risk, and patience elements most people willingly avoid naturally. Vision distinguishes high achievers. They see beyond present limits to future possibilities clearly. They take small, deliberate steps every day that average people neglect repeatedly. Courage is strengthened through action. Fear diminishes as they practice consistently and persistently. While average people wait for clarity, achievers act and learn along the way actively. High achievers are addicted to improvement, not approval, giving them an invisible edge. They leverage their environment strategically, positioning themselves near mentors, resources, and opportunities. Average people remain passive, letting circumstances dictate outcomes while time slips by quietly. Action, focus, and resilience become the differentiating factors repeatedly over months and years. Those who break free embrace challenge instead of seeking comfort every single day. They cultivate skills deliberately, turning knowledge into results instead of hoarding information idly. Average people often mistake busyness for progress, missing the point of intentional effort consistently. The twist? Escaping mediocrity is more predictable than people think when habits are changed. Success is engineered, not accidental, built through repeated, intentional, and disciplined actions. Average living is a default. Extraordinary results require conscious design, not chance. The difference is mindset: fear versus courage, comfort versus growth, hesitation versus action. Habits matter more than talent. Systems matter more than luck consistently over decades. They see failure as part of the process, while average people see it as final. The small, repeated choices compound invisibly, creating a gap that widens over time. High achievers treat setbacks as stepping stones. Average people treat them as walls. The twist reveals that freedom from mediocrity is accessible to anyone willing to act. It's not talent, luck, or circumstance. It's consistent, intentional, courageous effort daily. Understanding this changes perspective. Mediocrity is chosen, not inevitable for most people. Success leaves clues, and the 1% follow them while the 99% remain blind. Mindset, habits, courage, and systems are the hidden differentiators between average and extraordinary. Now, let's explore the final part. Actionable steps to escape mediocrity yourself. Knowledge without action keeps most people trapped in their average life silently. The 1% combine awareness, action, and persistence to produce extraordinary results reliably. By following these principles, anyone can break the cycle of mediocrity deliberately. The path isn't easy, but it's predictable, measurable, and repeatable over time. Part 4 will show how to apply these lessons, and now that we understand the reasons, let's focus on actionable steps immediately. Breaking free starts with awareness, recognizing habits that keep you average daily. The first step is identifying patterns that limit growth and opportunity consistently. Replace comfort-seeking behaviors with small challenges that push your boundaries regularly. Discipline is key. Action must occur even when motivation feels absent consistently. Set clear, ambitious goals and break them into manageable, measurable steps systematically. Commit to lifelong learning, reading, and skill building to elevate your potential constantly. Surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and hold you accountable daily. Eliminate distractions that consume time without creating meaningful progress effectively. Replace passive habits with active, purposeful actions aligned with your long-term vision. Embrace calculated risks instead of avoiding opportunities out of fear consistently. Treat failure as feedback, not a permanent limitation or setback permanently. Track progress meticulously to identify patterns of success and areas needing improvement. Develop routines that reinforce discipline, focus, and productivity daily without exception. Avoid comparing yourself to others, focus on your growth trajectory consistently. Create systems that automate good habits like saving, learning, or exercising regularly. Break big goals into smaller milestones to prevent overwhelm and maintain momentum steadily. Seek mentors and role models who have escaped mediocrity successfully and learn actively. Take ownership of your life. Responsibility is the ultimate tool against average consistently. Identify your strengths and leverage them strategically in all areas of life effectively. Learn to manage time wisely, prioritizing high-impact tasks over trivial distractions consistently. Challenge your mindset daily. Question beliefs that reinforce fear or comfort zones quietly. Build resilience by facing discomfort and uncertainty regularly, expanding your tolerance steadily. Replace procrastination with deliberate, consistent action toward meaningful goals immediately. Focus on creating value in every interaction, project, and task consistently. Avoid shortcuts that compromise growth. Meaningful progress requires patience and effort steadily. Use visualization techniques to imagine your best self and align daily actions consistently. Set boundaries to protect energy, time, and focus from distractions continuously. Celebrate small wins to reinforce positive habits and motivate ongoing progress daily. Adopt a growth mindset. Challenges are opportunities, not obstacles, consistently. Seek feedback actively and implement it quickly to accelerate learning and improvement constantly. Build multiple income streams or skills that compound value over time intentionally. Eliminate toxic relationships that reinforce fear, mediocrity, or complacency continuously. Surround yourself with environments that encourage growth, creativity, and ambition daily. Take daily actions that feel uncomfortable. They indicate growth and expansion consistently. Embrace consistency over intensity. Small steps repeated daily create massive results over time. Focus on long-term vision, not instant gratification or temporary comfort continuously. Monitor habits and adjust routines to ensure alignment with your ultimate goals regularly. Learn from failures quickly. Adjust, adapt, and persist without losing momentum repeatedly. Build mental toughness by facing fears, rejection, and uncertainty intentionally every day. Prioritize learning over approval. Knowledge empowers action and reduces dependence on others constantly. Develop self-discipline through repeated practice, even when results are not immediate daily. Take bold steps, even small ones, toward breaking the average pattern consistently. Focus on actions that compound over time rather than temporary, fleeting results daily. Use setbacks as stepping stones. They reveal gaps to address and improve consistently. Treat every challenge as a training ground for resilience, creativity, and growth steadily. Break patterns of passive thinking. Ask questions and seek deeper understanding actively. Plan strategically. Act decisively. and reflect regularly to optimize all actions consistently. Invest in your physical, mental, and emotional health as a foundation for success daily. Remove excuses systematically and replace them with solutions that enable action consistently. Identify limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering principles that guide decisions effectively. Prioritize high-impact actions that move you closer to extraordinary results continually. Take responsibility for every outcome. Ownership transforms obstacles into opportunities constantly. The path is clear. Deliberate action, courage, and consistency create extraordinary life results. Next, Part 5 will inspire you with a final motivational push to implement these strat. Now that you understand the patterns, let's explore how to act effectively. Growth begins with awareness of habits, mindset, and small daily decisions consistently. The first step is identifying routines that keep you comfortable but stagnant naturally. Average people avoid challenges. High achievers seek opportunities to stretch themselves intentionally. Start by setting small, measurable goals that build momentum over time reliably. Focus on developing skills that improve your confidence, knowledge, and capabilities consistently. Take responsibility for your choices rather than blaming circumstances or others repeatedly. Accountability transforms intentions into tangible results when practiced every day effectively. Replace passive habits like excessive social media scrolling with productive learning activities immediately. Surround yourself with people who inspire growth, positivity, and constructive feedback daily. Seek mentors, peers, and communities that model disciplined and intentional behavior naturally. Track your progress to maintain motivation and identify areas for consistent improvement quickly. Embrace discomfort in safe ways to build resilience, problem solving, and confidence steadily. Start taking small actions towards your goals, even if results are not immediate. Persistence compounds over time, transforming small steps into meaningful progress consistently. Learn to view setbacks as feedback rather than failures, adjusting your strategies wisely. Replace fear with curiosity and focus on opportunities to grow rather than avoid risks. Limit distractions that prevent focus on your priorities and personal development daily. Develop routines that maximize productivity while maintaining balance, well-being, and health consistently. Educate yourself continuously to adapt to new challenges, technologies, and opportunities actively. Time management ensures that every day contributes to your long-term vision effectively. Reflect regularly on your actions, successes, and areas for improvement honestly. Celebrate small wins to reinforce momentum and motivation in your growth journey. Practice self-discipline consistently, choosing long-term benefits over short-term comforts intentionally. Visualize your goals clearly, then take concrete steps to turn them into reality. Build a mindset focused on learning, progress, and resilience rather than avoiding failure. Challenge limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in average thinking and behavior continuously. Adopt strategies used by high achievers like planning, prioritization, and deliberate action daily. Replace reactive habits with proactive ones that anticipate opportunities and challenges effectively. Focus on actions that align with your values, vision, and long-term goals consistently. Avoid comparing your journey to others. Focus on personal growth and improvement continuously. Break down larger goals into manageable steps to maintain motivation and reduce overwhelm. Commit to lifelong learning and improvement, making progress a daily habit naturally. Use accountability tools like journals, apps, or peer support to stay consistent. Recognize that comfort zones feel safe, but slow your personal and professional growth. Practice resilience by tackling challenges gradually and learning from each experience actively. Maintain balance by caring for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being consistently. Surround yourself with positivity while minimizing exposure to negativity or discouragement naturally. Focus on building skills and assets that provide long-term value consistently over time. Develop critical thinking to make smarter decisions instead of following the crowd blindly. Understand that results require consistent effort. There are no shortcuts to sustainable growth. Plan your days intentionally to maximize focus, productivity, and meaningful progress consistently. Seek feedback regularly to refine your approach and enhance personal effectiveness steadily. Avoid perfectionism. Progress matters more than flawless execution consistently over time. Take responsibility for shaping your future rather than waiting for circumstances to change. Replace reactive habits with intentional actions that move you closer to your goals daily. Create a personal system that ensures consistent learning, growth, and accountability effectively. Understand that your environment influences habits. Optimize it to support growth intentionally. Make curiosity, persistence, and courage your guiding principles in pursuing personal success. Build resilience and adaptability, preparing yourself to overcome challenges safely and effectively. Focus on progress, not comparison. Every step forward counts toward breaking free from average. Implement small, deliberate changes today that accumulate into meaningful long-term transformation. Keep learning, growing, and adapting. Growth is continuous, not a one-time effort. Action plus consistency creates momentum that transforms